Greetings! Hello from the Reed house to your house today. Hey, my day started really well today. I went out for a run to take our crazy dog Hendrix for a little bit of early exercise, and then Shane and I jumped on our bikes and went to the grocery store. We showered, I put on a little bit of makeup, got myself ready for work, and after a management team meeting this afternoon with Hope, we're going to go for a walk. I couldn't help wonder, what is all that crazy, kind of busy exercise about? And for me, some of the answer to that is rooted in a little anecdote that's told of Nelson Mandela. You see, Nelson Mandela was incarcerated in prison for about 27 years. And after he was released, his prison cell was turned into a kind of a museum, a tourist destination of sorts. The story goes that one day a man walks into that cell, and sitting there is a pair of shoes sitting on top of the chest of drawers that Nelson had in his cell. And he's a podiatrist, and so he asks if he can take those shoes away and study them. And what he discovers is that those shoes were worn by a man who ran 5 kilometres in them every day for the entire duration of his incarceration. And it might be asked, and in fact it was asked of Nelson Mandela, why? Why would you do that? And his response was simply that he knew one day he would be released and that his country would need him. At this time of COVID-19, I think the same is true for you and I. I think that this is a time all about Jesus, a time like no other. It's a time for us to be using this time well, because our world needs us. So often we, I think, get fooled into a sense of feeling as if this life is actually about that life, that we live in the here and now, not for the here and now's sake, but for the there and then. But I want to say to you, that's a lie. Acts 17 says that we have our lives where we have them and when we have them, so that we can reach for God, though He is not far from any one of us. And it goes on to say that it's in Him that we live and we breathe and we have our being. This is a time where we have to take hold of the truths of the gospel. In John 10:10, it says simply that Jesus has come to give us life and life to the full. And so 2 top tips for you today. The first is this: pray. Ask God for the name of a person that He would have you connecting with or contacting or reaching out to, even while you're in self-isolation. You see, we're hearing wonderful stories of how God is prompting names on our hearts, and as we connect with them, that barriers are being broken down, God is being seen more clearly, that Jesus is breaking in. And that's hugely exciting for us. The second tip is simply this. It may well be that you're feeling restless as you head into what for many of you is your 3rd week of self-isolation. For me and for Sam and Grania at the farm, it's our 4th week, in fact. But my top tip for you is to give your restlessness to God. John 14:27 says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." My second tip is simply this: if you are feeling restless, if you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling afraid, then invite Jesus into those feelings, because He brings His peace. And keep praying until you receive that peace. Do some of my restlessness has come from missing you. Shane and I are really missing spending time with you, hugging you, hearing your stories, hearing your successes. And although we're enjoying the Zoom conversations and all that sort of thing, it's not the same. A couple of notices. The first one is that this Sunday, we are going to all join together in a Zoom kind of service. I'm going to send you out an email. You'll get the Zoom code. You'll get the password. But what we're going to do is at 5 o'clock on Sunday night, we're going to get the worshippers worshipping. We're going to get the storytellers storytelling. We'll have a little bit of communion together, and I'll preach just a little short sermon. So join us 5 o'clock this coming Sunday. The second thing is, how about sending in your stories? I want to hear what's happening at your house. It may well be that you've got some testimonies, you've got some God stories, you've got something that reminds us that Jesus is working and living in you and through you, and your life is continually being transformed as you press into Him. I'm hearing lots of stories, but I would love to be able to share them. So grab your phone, record a little story, and I'll put it out on our Facebook page. Hey, we're missing you, we love you, and I'll speak soon. Bye.